everyone, and welcome to Checkpoint. I'm really excited because it's a new season, and I know in my heart that you are up to something mega. It's your host again, Dr. Ifoma Eze, and I'm here again with a new episode here on Checkpoint. Now, I'd like to start by saying thank you, and thank you again for all that you do for us here at Checkpoint. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments, and for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Because of all that you do, our message is reaching a wider audience, and for this, I am indeed very, very grateful. Now, you know how we roll in Checkpoint. So it is time again. I'd like you to begin to share this link to your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors. Let everyone know that it is time for Checkpoint, because at Checkpoint, one thing we do for you is that we give you content, quality content that equip you, edify you, and empower you to become the very best version of yourself. And today is not going to be any different, because we're going to give you content that will make you a better person. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, share the link. Share the link everywhere on all your social media platforms. And I believe that somebody is going to watch it, and thank you for that. So I will be right back after the break, and then I'll be telling you what topic we'll be sharing today. I believe in my heart that it will be a topic that will help you become a better version of who you already are. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Checkpoint. Now, today on Checkpoint, we have a very, very interesting topic that everyone can relate with. All right, so you can relate to what I'm about to share today, because it's something that affects every one of us. And today on Checkpoint, my topic for today is the real meaning of failure. The real meaning of failure. Today, I'll be explaining failure for what it is, and I'll be sharing with you what the real meaning of failure is. I'll be showing you using each of the letters in the word failure, and by the time we are done, you'll be able to understand what to do when you experience failure, what failure truly is, and how to navigate the situation called failure. Get your friends around, all right? Call everybody, your relations, your associates, your neighbors. Let them know that it is time for Checkpoint. And today we are talking about the real meaning of failure. I'll be sharing with you wonderful things, some of them that you may have heard before, some that you have not heard at all before, but every one of them is going to align properly to make you know what to do when you see failure, when you experience failure, or when you're trying to navigate your way out of failure. Let's go there. All right, so number one thing I'd like to share with you about failure, the real meaning of failure, is that it starts with the letter F, right? So F stands for fall. F stands for fall. Now, the truth of the matter is this: every one of us, whether you are high up there or whether you are low down there, every one of us have experienced failure at one point in life. Everyone who became great eventually once fell, or fell twice, or even fell 3 times before they got back up on their feet. I don't know if you're a fan of the movies, but if you are someone who watches the movies, you see that most times before the hero eventually wins or sails through or excels in a particular kind of conquest, that hero would be beaten blue black. So that hero would usually have like some injuries, some pain, some scratches, some injuries, maybe from a bomb blast or from a gun that was shot or something like that, before the hero eventually wins. And as a matter of fact, what makes this hero a true hero is that he was able to conquer a few things that came to kill him or destroy him. What does this tell us? It tells us that it doesn't matter if you fall. It doesn't matter when you fall. It doesn't even matter how you fall. The fact that you even fell does not cancel out the possibility of you winning eventually in life. The fact that you fell does not mean that you will not eventually become all that you are supposed to be. Every great person, when you get close to them, If they are very sincere about their journey in life, they will tell you that at some point in life, they fell down. The Bible even tells us that when you see a just man, how do you even know? You said the Bible says that a just man will fall 7 times and rise up again. So it doesn't matter if you fall, it doesn't even matter how you fall. What matters is that you have fallen, but don't remain there, right? It is not your fault that you fell down, but it is truly your fault if you remain down. It is not your fault when circumstances, some things happen to you, when difficult things come your way, but it is truly your fault if you remain where you are. I want to challenge you today that in the midst of failure, or while passing through the terrain called failure, you will fall at one point or the other. In fact, you may be excelling in one aspect, but you may be failing in another aspect. And I want to tell you that it is okay. It is okay for you to fall. It is not a tragedy for you to fall. When you fall, no problem. Just rise up again. Dust off yourself and rise up again. This is the true story of legends. This is how legends are made, that they are able to fall and get back up. So that you fell, no problem. After you have fallen, make a decision, concrete decisions that will take you out from that place of failure and stand you back on your feet. See, the challenge that most of us have is that we experience what we call a pity party. We rather sit back and want a pity party surround us and begin to pamper our weaknesses and begin to tell us how sorry they feel for us. But listen to me, when you fall, what you need is not a pity party. What you need is a challenger. Somebody that will tell you that this has happened to you, but this is not the true definition of who you are. So when you fall, remember that you're just passing through a terrain called failure, and that soon you are jumping back on your feet. Now let's talk about the second letter in the word failure, and that is letter A. A stands for acknowledge. You have to acknowledge what has happened to you. Many of us live in denial. So when we fail, we refuse to acknowledge the fact that this actually happened to us. So we blame people. We blame our father, we blame our mother, we blame our sister, we blame our brothers, we blame our spouses, we even blame our children, and we attribute our failure to them. But listen to me, let me tell you one truth that you must always remember. When you are born, you either look like your father or your mother. But later on in life, you will look like your decisions. You will look like your actions. You will look like your inactions. You will look like that decision you decided to make. You will also look like that decision you refuse to make. So it is time for us to learn how to acknowledge our failures, learn how to acknowledge our part, the role that we played in this problem. So when you fall, sit back and ask yourself, what did I do wrongly? What was I supposed to do that I did not do? I have a role in this. There's a role. See, it is true that somebody may have contributed to your failure. Somebody may have had a hand in what happened to you, but the ultimate is that you had a role to play. So acknowledge your failure. Acknowledge what went wrong. Acknowledge the fall. Acknowledge the mistake. There was something you should have done that you did not do. There is something you should not have done that you did. This is how we acknowledge, because acknowledging it does not cancel out the fact that you have failed. Neither does it take you from that point to the point where you recover everything. But what it does for you is that it helps you to know your ground zero. It helps you to know, okay, this is my ground zero. This is where I got it all wrong. And this is where I have to start afresh from. So acknowledge your failure. Acknowledge your mistake. Acknowledge the role that you had to play in what has happened to you. Stop blaming people around you. And I always tell leaders, especially, when there is success, appreciate the team and everybody involved for the success that you have achieved. But when there is a fault or a blame, take it up personally. Stop blaming the people that work with you for the failure of a particular program or So next time when you fail, learn to acknowledge the role that you have to play. Next thing that we have to look at when we look about when we look at the real meaning of failure, is the next letter, and that letter is I. I stands for investigate. Okay, so well, you have fallen, and now you have acknowledged the role that you had to play and the fact that you actually fell. The next thing will be to investigate. What and what created this situation? Well, some part of it could have been from me, but there might be other factors that can be external factors, economical factors, political factors, emotional factors, all right, psychological factors, factors that are dependent on other people, maybe the kind of people you surrounded yourself with, factors that are dependent on maybe your insufficient knowledge about what you wanted to do. So it is possible that you failed at a particular thing simply because you did not learn as much as you should before you embarked on that particular project. So investigate. Investigate the ones that come from you, investigate the impact aspects that come from others. One thing that you can do when you have fallen is that you should sit back and conduct what we call a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis is a systematic analysis that helps you to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities surrounding you, and the threats around. So that is what is called SWOT. Strengths for S, W for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for threats. Now, the strengths and the weaknesses are usually internal. So, investigate your strengths. What are your areas of strength for real? What are the areas where you are strong at? Because if you refuse to major in your major and then you go and major in your minor, you will have lots and lots of challenges. So you need to sit back and do what we call a SWOT analysis. Check out your strengths. Check out the areas where you're highly gifted in. Because if you leave the places where you are gifted in and begin to meddle with things that you're not strong at, you would experience a lot of challenges. Next, look at your weaknesses. Don't worry. I know the lights and the cameras will look perfect on the screen, right? But every one of us, myself inclusive, we all have our weaknesses. If you were to ask my mother, she will tell you that one of my weaknesses is that I take care of everybody, but I always fail to take care of myself. I consider it is a weakness. And while I am working on it and trying my best, I never seem to do enough. Every one of us, we have our weaknesses. If you are sincere to yourself, you would also discover what your weaknesses are. But you see, our areas of weaknesses are not places that we go and focus all our attention on. They are areas that we identify, investigate, and then seek for ways to complement what our weaknesses are. So if you know that this is an area of weakness, you either avoid it entirely or you get accountability partners that will help you to overcome that particular area. Remember, I said that in the SWOT analysis, the strengths and the weaknesses, that is the S and the W, they're internal. The next part that is external are the opportunities and the threats. Every day around us, opportunities lie. Opportunities come around us every time. But unfortunately, many of us expect opportunities to look all flashy, to look so nice, to look very enticing, but unfortunately, it is not so. Sometimes opportunities will come wearing overalls, which means that opportunity would expect of us to look at it and recognize it and take action. I remember when I was able to produce my viral birthday prayer that went viral all over the world. It was just an opportunity that presented itself. And this opportunity was not about the money, it was not about the virality, it was not about the fame, it was about the need. I saw myself having a need to send different birthday messages to many people. And sometimes some people get the good part of it, some other times they don't get the better part of it because of maybe where I am, the space my mind is at that time. And I thought of something I can do in a time when I feel good about it. He produced a birthday prayer that I can share to everybody who had a birthday at that time. and it went viral, and the whole world heard of it simply because I saw an opportunity that looked like work, but I took hold of it. Many opportunities are coming by you. And sometimes we are chief procrastinators. We tell ourselves, oh, we're going to do it tomorrow. Oh, we're going to do it later. Oh, we're going to do it. Oh, we're going to do it later. Oh, we're going to do it when it's more convenient. But sometimes, let me tell you the truth, you keep waiting for a more convenient time, and that more convenient time never ever comes. So what opportunity has life presented you with? Most times, this opportunity that we're talking about does not come like an offer. It's not like an offer letter. It is usually an opportunity to meet a need, an opportunity to solve a problem, an opportunity to do what others do not feel like doing. And it is in doing that particular thing that others don't feel like doing that particular thing that looks like solving a problem, doing that other particular thing that looks like you meeting a need. It is in the midst of that you begin to figure out how to get out of your place of failure. The last one will be threats. Threats are always there. The threat against your rising up again, the threat against your becoming who you want to be, the threat that will make you feel like, oh, I have failed. I shouldn't. In fact, people who have failed are judged. There's a stigma attached to people who experience this kind of failure and stuff like that. You don't listen to this like this. You don't dwell on the threats. They are there, but you ignore them. They are there, but you despise them. They are there, but you look at the best way to navigate through them. So these are the things you have to investigate. Remember, I said you have to investigate your strengths, you have to investigate your weaknesses, you have to investigate your opportunities present, and you have to also investigate the threats around you and around what it is that you are doing. So now that we have talked about F, for, we talked about A, acknowledge, talk about I, investigate. The next thing we have to talk about is the letter L, and L stands for learn. The 21st century is the one who cannot learn, relearn, and unlearn. Every day, new opportunities arise for us to learn things that we don't already know. So my encouragement to you today is that you should do everything in your power to learn. There is no end to learning. I consider myself a lifelong learner, which means that irrespective of how old I am, I will keep learning. I will keep learning new things. I will keep learning new ways to solve old problems. What is innovation? Innovation is simply learning new ways to handle old situations or old problems. Every day, the world is changing. The world around us is changing. And you have to learn to change with that world. If not, you become a dinosaur. You will just remain in the past. You will not improve. You will not go forward. You will not learn how to do new things. So I am encouraging everyone who is listening to me or watching me right now, learn. Learn from your failure. Learn from people who have made the mistakes that you have made. And most importantly, learn from people who never made the mistakes that you made. Somebody said to me the other time that they would rather learn from somebody who has made the mistake they made than learn from somebody who has never made a mistake. Now, I have a different opinion to that, and I welcome your own different opinion, right? So please let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Would you rather follow somebody who made the mistake that you made? Or would you rather follow somebody who has not made the mistake that you have made? Because the argument is this. The lady said, I'd rather follow somebody who has made the mistake I made so that I will know how the person was able to rise up out from that mistake. But on a second note, I would rather follow somebody who has not made that mistake, because there is something that person definitely knows that helped the person not to make that very mistake. So let me know which one you would rather follow. The one who made the mistake you made, or the one who has not made the mistake. I think, and this is my personal opinion, that you should follow the person who has not made the mistake. because there is certainly something that person knows that made the person to escape making that same mistake. So, as I have already told you, I consider myself a lifelong learner. I learn from anything and I learn from everyone. I learn from children, I learn from adults. And one thing I know about myself is that I am never ashamed to learn. I have no shame when I'm telling somebody, please teach me this. I don't know it. So I feel very free to learn from people who are much younger than me. I feel very free to learn from children if they know it better. And the truth of the matter is this: when you see me manifesting the things that I now know, there is no way for you to know where I actually learned it from. It is not written on my forehead. So what you see about me is that, this lady knows a lot of things and she's doing a lot of things. It is because I was able to learn a lot of things. So if you want to be a high flyer in life, you must humble yourself first to learn from people who know better than you. You see, this I too know mentality, this ITK mentality that makes you feel like I too know, I know it all, I know more than every other person. That is the mentality that will keep you stunted. That is the mentality that will keep you small. That is the mentality that will not allow you to grow and become who you are meant to be. I know you know some things, but you don't know everything. And it is wisdom for you to calm down and learn from somebody who already knows it. See, everything you are trying to navigate right now in this world today, there is somebody somewhere who already knows how to do it. I'm telling you the truth. You're trying to climb a tree, you're trying to climb your career, you're trying to work some things out, you're trying to excel in a particular area. There is somebody who has done it before, who already knows how to do it. And all you can do, the least you can do, is to learn from somebody who knows the way. You know, where you know the way, you take the lead. The labor, the Bible says that the labor of the foolish wearieth everyone, because he knoweth not how to go into the city. When you don't know the way, you waste a lot of time. When you know the way, you arrive on time, simply because you know the way. So learning is indispensable. It is something that every one of us has to imbibe, and we should not be ashamed to learn something new. I consider myself a lifelong learner. I will say this over and over again so that it sticks with you, because I want you to consider yourself a lifelong learner. Keep learning. Keep learning, because when you stop learning, you start dying. When you stop learning, you start dying. People who have chosen not to learn any other thing new, they hold on to their old methods of doing something over and over again. They are the ones that the world just overtakes. And listen to me, overtaking is allowed. It doesn't matter if you are the one who started it. It doesn't matter if you're the one who started the business. If you don't sit back and learn what you need to know, the world, everybody will simply overtake you. So learn and learn. Learn from everybody. Learn from everything. Let nature teach you. Let children teach you. Let subordinates teach you. Even let your superiors teach you, and have a teachable spirit. Because there are people that they will never want to learn from anybody because they feel their own way is perfect. But listen to me, times are changing. The world around us is evolving. You have to learn how to evolve and change with the world. And this is exactly how you overcome failure. This is how you overcome failure, when you have that learning spirit. Is that okay? All right, so choose to learn. Now, next on the definition or the real meaning of failure is the word letter U. Letter U. Now, letter U stands for understand. Understand means that you have to understand where you are and understand where you want to get to. It is not enough for you to understand who you are or where you are. It is also very important for you to understand where you want to get to. The Bible tells us that where there is no vision, the people perish. If you don't have a vision, you don't have a plan, you don't have something you are looking forward to, it becomes difficult for you to get to a place that you're not aiming for. A version of the Bible says that where there are no goals, people behave like goats. Isn't that fascinating? If you don't have a goal, you'll behave like a goat. So it behoves on you for you to know, understand where you are and where you are going to. You need to understand what is happening in your life right now. You need to understand who you are in this time and season, because there are certain situations that will call for a different version of you, which means that you need to understand, who am I now? So there is need for you to understand the version of you that your next level needs. You need to understand that there is a version of you. See, look at yourself. There are things that you should take away. There are things you should purge. There are things you should eliminate. And then there are things you should add. There are things you should improve upon. There are things you should load yourself up with if you know where you are going to. So it is important that you understand the version of you that your next level needs. If I was to tell you right now that we're going mountain hiking, and I ask you to pack up your bags that by tomorrow morning we'll be going to hike on the mountains, I'm sure that you know what your luggage will look like. You would sit down and you'll pack things that will help you hike the mountain properly. Let me ask you, would you pack a heeled shoes? I guess not. Will you pack your shoe that has wedge? I am sure you wouldn't do that. Or would you decide to pack a gown, a flowing gown, so that we can use it to go hike on the mountain? I am sure you would not do that, because you understand properly the assignment. You understand the journey. You understand where we are going to. And because of that, it changes your choices. It affects and influences your choices. It determines the things and the items that you get to pack in that bag. In the same way, if I was to tell you that we'll be going to London tomorrow or a day after tomorrow for a particular conference or a particular program, of course, the weather right now in London is about -3 degrees, and that's really chilly. In fact, it's been snowing, and it's equally snowing in America at this time. And if I was to tell you, okay, we are leaving for London tomorrow or next tomorrow, I am so sure in my heart that when you want to pack, you will certainly not pack light clothes. You will not pack tiny striped clothes. You will not pack clothes that will not shield you from the cold. So I'm sure that in your bag or in your box, what you likely pack will be sweaters, a blanket, thick clothes, jackets, and even other clothes that will help you to layer up in order to shield yourself from the cold. So understanding the journey, understanding where you are going to, understanding what you want to achieve, understanding where you are going to and who you are will greatly help you to navigate through failure. You need to understand, who am I? Where am I? Where am I going to? Who would I need in the place that I am going to? These are valid questions that you have to sit down and ask yourself. These are valid questions you have to sit and digest, all right, so that you'll be able to understand properly what the journey entails. Let me tell you this truth. My journey and your journey is certainly not the same. So when you understand what your journey needs, I will have to understand what my journey needs. Now, where people make the greatest mistake is trying to understand other people's journey and assuming that the understanding they got from another person's journey will be the same understanding they will need for their own journey. Our journeys in life are different. Our pathways in life are different. Our destination even in life is also different. And this is why you have to invest strongly in understanding who you are and where you are going to. Because it is true that we want to get to the same destination, but our pathways are not the same. Our pathways will certainly not be the same. So when this happens, you need to understand who you are, where you are, and where you are going to. This is very important. If you want to become global, you have to also understand that there is an attitude that gives you globalization. You need to understand that there is an attitude that will take you global. And you also need to understand that there is an attitude that will keep you local. So the fact that you started local does not mean you should not go global. But if you must go global, the local you has to readjust some things. The local you has to make some readjustment, mental readjustment, physical readjustment, in order to become the version of you that can go global. Over the week, I met somebody for the first time online, and she's a US citizen, and she told me that she came across my videos on YouTube. Okay, so she met check and she noticed that there was this series of videos called Checkpoint, and she told me that ever since she met them, she's been going through the videos one video per day, and she's really excited because she's learning a whole lot. In fact, she said to me that if she had met me earlier, she wouldn't have made some mistakes that she made in the relationships she had been. And these are some of the reasons why we do what we do. These are some of the reasons why we strive to give you quality content that is able to empower you, edify you, and equip you to become a better version of yourself. This is why we do what we do. I want to ask you, what do you understand about who you are, your journey in life? And this is so important for you to be able to overcome the failure that you are possibly experiencing, or the one that you intend to experience much later. All right, let me tell you the next letter, the next way. Remember, extraying the real meaning of failure. How you should perceive failure. You shouldn't see failure as an end game or an end event or the end of the world. This is how you should really see failure. And the next letter we want to look at is the letter R. The letter R. R stands for realign. So it means that after you have failed, after you have made your mistakes, after you have, we've been talking about the letters of failure. So F is for fall, A is for acknowledge, I is for investigate, L is for learn. You have to learn certain things that are necessary to help you. And then U is for understand. After you have done all of this, what you need to do is to realign. So what are you realigning yourself to? You are realigning yourself to the vision you had from the beginning. You are realigning yourself to the purpose that you have in your life and your destiny. So what then is your purpose? What do you intend to achieve? What was your goal in the first place? What did you set out to do? So you have to realign yourself. The fact that you failed does not mean that that vision is not proper. The fact that you fail does not mean that you cannot become who you want to be. The fact that you fail does not mean that your life does not make sense. So you have to realign yourself. You know that sometimes failure, just like the word implies, can take you off your trajectory. It can take you off the pathway, the path you have chosen for yourself. So when you fall, imagine that you're trying to jump a crossbar, or you're planning to successfully dive into something. When you fall, it takes you off your pathway. But after it has taken you out, you have to get up and get back in line. So that's what I mean by realignment. You have to realign yourself. Have you ever driven a car, and while you're trying to hold the steering, or maybe you just held the steering loosely, you notice that this car is just shifting and moving in a different direction all by itself? Somebody will tell you, oh, you need to go to the mechanic for realignment, so that the steering and the tires will be in alignment with each other. In the same way, sometimes in life, when you have fallen, it can affect your psyche. It can affect your mentality. You begin to look at yourself, am I really good? Imposter syndrome begins to jump in at that moment, and you begin to look down on yourself. You begin to second guess yourself. You begin to ask yourself, maybe something is wrong with me. Maybe something is not okay with me. Maybe there must be a reason why I'm failing. There must be something that is pursuing me around. In fact, there is something that is wrong with me. See, all of those voices are not real. They are just posing as if they are real, but they are actually not real. You have to realign yourself. And what ways do you realign yourself? You have to tell yourself that you are good enough. You have to remind yourself that you are capable of doing what you have set out to do. You have to realign yourself and remind yourself, why did you start out in the first place? Yes, you watching me right now, I want to ask you this question. Why did you start what you started in the first place? Why did you start this program in the first place? Why did you start this career in the first place? Why? What was the reason behind what you started to do? And then you won't allow just that little fall, or that little mistake, or that little wrong that was done to you to take you away from your original pathway. So remind yourself every day, why am I doing what I am doing? Why am I stressing myself to do this? Why am I stressing myself to achieve this academics? Why am I stressing myself to make this business work? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Now, when you remember your why, you'll be able to realign yourself. So, realignment brings you back to the point where you answer the questions of your why, where you remind yourself why you started to do what you are doing in the first place. And see, many of us set out with noble reasons why we are doing what we're doing, whether it is a business, whether it is an academic platform, whether it is a career path that you have chosen for yourself. Our whys are usually noble at the beginning. So get back to your why. Realign yourself. Tell yourself you are not a failure. Stop listening to imposter syndrome that tends to second guess you, tell you you're not good enough, tell you that who told you you should be the person that should be up on this platform. What makes you think you are good enough? What makes you think that the world wants to listen to you? You know, somebody, I was telling her that, oh, you need to start making videos about what you know. She was like, there are so many videos out in the world. Why will I make my own video? You know, people can find these things elsewhere. I was like, nobody can find it the way you would have done it, the way you would have said it. She was like, oh no, there are people smarter than me who have already said it. And when I saw that, I recognized what this is. So realign yourself. Remind yourself why you started out in the first place. And when you remind yourself of that, you will see fresh passion, fresh energy, fresh strength will be placed on your inside, and you'll be able to push through this terrain of failure to become the true success that God has made you to be. And the last letter in failure, the very last one, is the letter E. And E stands for evolve. So after you have done all of these things, the next thing waiting for you is to evolve. So you have fallen, you acknowledge, you investigate it, you learn, you understand it, and then you realign. After you have done all of these things, the next thing for you to do is to evolve. What are you evolving to? You are evolving into the you that is meant to be a success, the you that is meant to excel, the you that the world needs to hear, the you that the world should celebrate. You are evolving, you are evolving, you are metamorphosizing into the superstar that you are meant to be. See, God created you a celebrity, He created you a high performer. He created you to be a sign and a wonder in this generation. He made you to be a shining star that when others see, they will glorify your Father who is in heaven. So it doesn't matter what you have been through or what you are currently going through. I know at the end of this failure, the same way E ends the word failure, that is how you will evolve at the end of it all. Sometimes you may not become who you are meant to be until you have tasted of the failure. You have tasted of the pain. You have tasted of that rejection. You have tasted of that people not wanting you, people not desiring you. It helps you to manage the day of success. It helps you to manage your day of celebration. It helps you to acknowledge the fact that you have been helped by God. I was in church yesterday. That was Sunday, and I heard something when Bishop was preaching. He said something. He said, there is no self-made man. All there is are God helped men. And that thing resonated with me strongly. You know, when he said it in church yesterday, it was powerful. It is not about you being self-made, it's about you being God helped. And for you to evolve into that person that you are supposed to be, oh, God has to help you. And you in turn, you have to accept the help of God. So evolving is who we are meant to be. When you see a butterfly, how does the butterfly start out in life? It starts out as an egg, then goes to a larva. After that, it goes into a cocoon and it stays in that cocoon. See, a particular farmer some time ago saw a beautiful butterfly stuck in a cocoon, and the farmer felt that he was trying to help the butterfly. So he went to the cocoon and opened up the cocoon, broke off the cocoon so that the butterfly can actually come out and flap its wings. But unfortunately, when he was breaking up that cocoon, little did he know that that butterfly was supposed to pass through a complete evolution before it can actually flap its wings to fly. And that at the point where the wings were matured enough to fly, that was when the cocoon will fall off from it on its own. And he went to help the butterfly. Unfortunately, when he pulled out the cocoon, the butterfly's wings were not matured enough to flap its wings and fly. Listen to me. You may feel like that butterfly in a cocoon right now. You may be calling for help left, right, center, asking everybody to help you. But the truth of the matter is this: no one can help you but God, and there is a right time for everything. So all I can say to you is keep working, keep pushing, keep pressing, keep developing yourself. Your time will come. I assure you that your time will come. It doesn't matter how long it has lasted. It doesn't matter how long you have been in that cocoon. Your time will come. There are people in your life right now who assume that they are helping you, but in reality, they are really not helping you, because the real help you need is for them to allow you to go through your process, for you to evolve and become who you are meant to be. So I want to challenge you. Anything in your life that you need to remove in order to get to where you are supposed to get to, anything in your life that you need to add for you to get to where you're supposed to get to, do well to remove or add whatever it is. It is time to evolve. It is time to become that version of you that God has been waiting for to make you excel. It is time for you to evolve into that version of you that will celebrate success. It is time for you to evolve into that person who God has been waiting for you to become. See, it doesn't matter how many times you have to write an exam. If you don't pass through that class, you will not be promoted. God wants to promote you, but He wants you to pass that class. He wants you to pass the examination. And everyday life sets examinations for you. Everyday situations set examinations for you. Examinations of honesty, examinations of integrity, examinations of hard work, examinations of diligence. See, hard work has never killed anybody before. Evolve. Awake from becoming a sleeping giant to a giant that is awake. Many of you have so many potentials loaded on your inside, but you're not willing to evolve and become who you are meant to be. Awake, sleeping giant. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. This is a clarion call for you to wake up, evolve, change, metamorphosize, and become transmogrified into who you are meant to be. See, there is a destiny that is calling you. There is a generation waiting for your manifestation. Even the Bible tells us that the endless creation is waiting for the manifestation of the sons and the daughters of God. Wake up, it's your time. Evolve and become all that you are meant to be. Failure is just an event. It is not your name. It is not your title. It is not who you are. Failure is just an event. It just happened. So your business failed, you are not the failure. The business failed, not you. Your career failed, you are not the failure. That career failed. Rise up, evolve, and do it again. And I'm sure that when you do it this time, you will excel. You will become all that you are meant to be. And at the end of the day, others will come to learn from you how not to become a failure. Now, these are all I decided to share with you today on Checkpoint. I'm really excited I was able to bring you this content. Please go through this video. If you came late, you started watching late, I want to implore you, go back to the beginning of this video and watch from the very beginning till the end so that you can understand everything that I shared with you today. And I want to see you at the other side of success. I want to see you on top, because that is your place. And when you get to the top, you will become the topic of the day. Until I come your way again, keep making a positive, indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. I love you so very much. Bye-bye for now. Everyone, I hope you are blessed by that message. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and support us. If you are led, go ahead and just sow into the account right on the screen. And I know that as you do that, God will bless you big time. Because of the seeds you are sowing, you'll be able to reach a wider audience on different platforms. So please do well to sow that seed, and God will bless you. Love you.